the trigger, it's so much better. Pull the trigger, it's so much easier. Pull the trigger, it's so much faster. But there's got to be more to life than this. Still cold, thinking family, they won't escape reality. A million days won't ever ease their pain. Now it's caught in the middle, unsure of the road to follow, a decision of what to do, what to do. Oh, he knows you. Pull the trigger, so much better. Pull the trigger, so much easier. Pull the trigger, so much faster. But there's got to be more to life than this. If you pull it, could you pull it now? Could you pull it and put them through it? Could you pull it? Could you do it now? Tell me how they live through this. Pull the trigger, so much better. Pull the trigger, so much easier. Pull the trigger, so much faster. But there's got to be more to life than this. If you pull it, could you pull it? Put them through it. Tell me what they do.
All right, folks, and welcome to College Football Tonight here on HerbFM Sports Radio. It's a championship week of the ACC Championship Week. Miami and Clemson playing each other this Saturday down in Charlotte, and yours truly, HerbFM Radio, will be down there covering that game this weekend, starting Friday morning, at the Bank of America Stadium with the press conferences with the Coastal and Atlantic Division leaders. Tonight on the show, coming at 6:35 shortly, hopefully Sean McDonald, the head coach of New Hampshire Wildcats. They are in the round 2 of the NCAA tournament. They're going to be playing Central Arkansas this weekend. At 6:45, we have a special guest, Danny Rocco from Delaware. He's head coach of the Delaware football Fighting Blue Hens. Danny Rocco's football team played both JMU and Stony Brook this year. Around 6:55, you'll hear our pre-tape interview with Clemson football player Hunter Renfro and Kelly Bryant. 7 o'clock, we have Gary Stolten, the president and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. At 7:15, Mike Ferguson from our Daily Knoll, Florida State independent paper. We're going to talk about the Florida State game this week against Louisiana Monroe. Jermaine Washington, the sports editor from the Hawkeye, the school paper, will be joining us at 7:30. Then Joe Jacoby, the former Louisville Cardinal offensive lineman for Redskins great, part of the Hogs. He is going to be in the ACC Legends group this year. So he'll be on at 7:40 for 5 minutes. And then we have some pre-tape interviews with Will Webb of the Charlotte Sports Foundation at 7:45. And then we have the Miami portion of our show at 7:55. Shaq Quarryman and Jacqueline Johnson will be our interviews we did with them over the phone this past week. Then at 8 o'clock, Don Sinetnik, the president and chair of the Orange Bowl, will be on. And then Will Logic, the South Carolina Radio Network, will talk about the Clemson Tigers on the Clemson side. And then at 8:30, you'll hear our interview with Dorian McDaniel, who is the Buckus Award winner from Clemson University, who's from Only, Maryland, will be on at 8:30. His interview I did with him yesterday. So we're just waiting for Coach Sean McDonald here. I think he's probably going to give us a call, or hopefully we'll get him on probably at the end of the show, folks. If you're sitting here waiting, patiently, we'll wait for him. So we're going to take a little break here, and when we come back, we'll hopefully we'll try Sean McDonald real quick, and then we'll go from there. So we'll be right back.
Sit here and listen to our voices tonight. They seem so broken by the sands of time. Give me just one more chance.
All right, folks, welcome back here on the College Football Tonight. Sean McDonald, the head coach of New Hampshire. They're in the second round of the playoffs this week against Central Arkansas. So, Coach Mack, how's everything up there in New Hampshire?
Well, getting ready to play a really good football team, Chris. And you don't see a lot of flaws in Central Arkansas right now. And it starts with their offense. They'll get the player of the year. Here they have their two running backs, their dual-headed monster running back. That is a inside and outside threat. Mm-hmm. They have the freshman of the year, who's the running back, Crossley, is there. They got the offensive lineman or lineman of the year in the league. This kid Hornet plays offensive tackle for him. They got the defensive player of the year. I mean, they got a ton of guys playing football for them right now. They're really good football players. And most importantly, they're coached very, very well. So
yeah,
this is a team that would be the top tier of the CAA, no doubt in my mind. Huge challenge for us, but also a great opportunity.
Yeah, they scored 37 points a game. That's pretty good for the whole season, and you guys only score close to like 20, so you guys might have to get a lot of points this week.
Yeah, well, we'll have to slow them down somehow, some way, Chris. We just got to figure out a way to keep it close and try to win a game in the fourth quarter on the road.
Yeah. Well, last week you guys won 14-0 up there against Central Connecticut. Just talk about that game real quick, and 14-0, a shutout in the playoffs is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. We moved the ball on offense, so we did move it well inside the 20-yard line. We didn't finish off in the red zone, missed 3 field goals. It was a game that you left disappointed because you thought you had better and more in the tank, but at the same time you left knowing that you're 1-0 on Saturday night and one of the top 16 teams in the country getting to play in the playoffs again. Yeah.
Well, is this the team's first trip to Arkansas? Have you ever played in Arkansas before?
No, Chris, this is our first shot at it.
Wow.
There's only about 3 or 4 of our guys that ever been to Arkansas.
Wow.
This is a very unique experience for everybody in the program.
Yeah, you guys went down to Alabama to play Georgia Southern this year because you were supposed to play in Georgia, but that hurricane moved everybody to Birmingham, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We played Birmingham, Alabama. They relocated. We've been down south, Louisiana. We've been down south of Florida. So we've been all different states, but never been to Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, and how's the team? Is there any injuries that people like to know about, or is everybody fully healthy?
Everybody's banged up and nicked up a little bit. We're not fully healthy. Just got some good news tonight that Mike Masamo, one of our linebackers, has been out for 3 weeks with a broken thumb. He's got clear to play, so he'll play on Saturday. But other than that, we're in the same spot we were last week. A couple guys just nicked and bruised. Figure we'll get them ready by game time, get them ready to play, and go from there, Chris.
Yeah. Well, Coach Mack, I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you taking some time out this evening, and good luck on Saturday. I'll be hitting the road down to Charlotte, but I'll be hopefully watching it on my app and hoping and rooting you guys on.
Well, I hope so, Chris. I really appreciate the time and effort you give to this level of football. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, folks. That's Coach Sean McDonald. He had practice. He had other stuff to do. Very good guy. We'll get him on during the post-football season. Hopefully we'll do that. So we'll see who's... And we'll take a break real quick here on HerbFM Radio. All right, folks, this is live radio here on HerbFM Radio with Danny Rocker. We're fighting Blue Hens this year. They had a great year, but didn't get into postseason until hopefully next year. But they did play against 2 teams this weekend, JMU and Stony Brook. So, Coach Rocker, thanks for joining us tonight. Talk about JMU. What you guys played them at home up there in Newark. What did you see from that team this year? How back in getting them October?
There's a gun.
I think what Mike and his staff have been able to do there is extraordinary over the last year and a half, 2 years. As everybody knows, it's hard to run the table in this league right here, and they've done a great job of finishing games. Our game was a tight game into the fourth quarter, and they were able to get a late score to extend the lead to 20-10 and finish the game out that way. Their defense is as good as I've seen at this FCS level. I think they may have had 6 first-teamers, if I'm not mistaken, in the CAA. An anchor of the defensive lineman. It was, I think, our defensive player of the year. So a very, very solid team. Offensively, they got good balance. I think they run the ball with, power. They run the ball downhill, but they certainly have the ability to get up there with Shore and throw the ball and make big chunks in the passing game. So, they have positioned themselves very well here with the 1 seed, and I'm sure they're poised to make a deep run.
And you played against Stony Brook up there in Long Island, and you guys beat them. It was a very good game up there. So you basically are 1-1 against these squads this year. So what about Stony Brook that might give JMU a run for his money on Saturday?
Well, I think they will. I think that Coach Priori and his staff have done an outstanding job. They're a physical team. They're a well-coached team. They always play good defense. So they've been playing really good defense up there since they came into the league. And then Coach Priori and I had history together against each other when I was at Liberty. And he was the head coach at Stony Brook. So they've been playing really good defense for a long time. I think this year what I have recognized is a little more balance on offense. Carbone, the quarterback, has done a good job of managing the offense and making good decisions. Bedell, the running back, they've got a really good receiver in Bolton, a big offensive lineman in Paris. So, they've got some weapons. And I think it really comes down to, getting the game into the fourth quarter and trying to find a way to finish. And I think for all the things that Mike Houston and his staff and his team have done a very good job of, I think the best thing they've done is they've been able to finish games, and they've been doing that for 2 years, and the edge would certainly go to them at home. Yeah.
Well, I saw them play against New Hampshire, and that was a 21-0 game, JMU, but New Hampshire actually had a better second half than the first half, but New Hampshire left points on the field, and you as a coach, you don't want to leave points on the field.
Well, that's a great point. I think, these in all of these playoff games, but especially when you're looking at, Stony Brook's situation here on the road, you cannot waste opportunities. I think every possession has got to be a possession with purpose. And to be quite frank with you, that's kind of what Chuck's been able to do up there with his teams. They're able to move the ball and play field position. They're able to have enough balance that if you want to overload the run game, he can throw it, and then they can make plays down the field. And if they can, they'll want to run the ball.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a really good, solid matchup. I will say this, in all fairness, I think, as the dust settled this year, JMU certainly the 1 seed. I think the SRS, I think Stony Brook was 11.
Mm-hmm.
They're the 2 teams when the dust settled here at the end of the day that are most deserving to kind of be 1-2 in our league, and this is a really strong league. So I'm glad. I really thought Stony Brook might get a first-round bye. I think they had to be in that conversation with the SRS of 11.
Yeah.
At that stage of the season as they were trying to seed the tournament.
Well, you didn't play against New Hampshire this year, but you coached them and Coach McDonald 14 straight years in the postseason. That's pretty good for a program. It's almost like in the and over there in the the ACC and all that stuff, like Florida State, trying to get back in a bowl game for 36 years. That's pretty good for a team like that, right?
Well, no doubt, and Coach Mack does an extraordinary job. I mean, he has been able to do what we all want to do, and that is, stand the test of time and be able to continue to remain very relevant every single year. And he's got a good, solid team every year. Every few years, he's kind of got an exceptional team. And in this league, you're going to have 5, 6, 7 teams every year that are, capable of winning in the postseason. And, Sean certainly has one of those teams.
Well, just talk about you guys, 7-4, tough loss to Villanova at the end of the year, didn't get to the postseason because Lehigh got in. How did Lehigh get in with a losing record? How did that happen?
Well, Lehigh got the auto bid.
Okay.
They're out of the Patriot, so those are the dynamics that, and I'm very much, I'm very much okay with that part of the process. There's the conferences that have auto bids, they have their own way of, deciding what team represents based on, the best record or some element of a tiebreaker. But, they know when they go into the season what they have to do to get into this tournament. And Lehigh was able to meet that criteria. I think they beat Lafayette by a touchdown on the last game of the season. But I think our body of work was really strong, 7-4. And again, our SRS was 21. Our Sagrin was really strong. There were a lot of things that I thought really gave us a legitimate opportunity to find ourselves in this field. And, again, losing on the last game of the year was disappointing, but,
right.
Villanova's Villanova, and it was on the road. But I've always believed that it's got to be about your body of work. And I think that, you can't get caught up in any one game. If you do, you can run just about any team out of this tournament because, most teams in this tournament that were on the bubble or that were at-large teams, weren't undefeated. They've got losses. And if you got losses, there's always reason for discussion. But our body of work was really strong here this year, and I'm really excited about our future, and our student-athletes are very highly motivated to respond in a favorable way and take that next step here next season.
Well, just I know you had a couple weeks off from the last game. Just reevaluate your first year up there in Newark. What did you like about your first year up there, and what do you want to improve on for next year?
Well, I think the first thing is there's a really strong passion and a really excited fan base. I think that this is a FCS program that has very high expectations. And is highly motivated to continue to build and to advance and to become, a program of national prominence.
Yeah.
Again, it's been a while, really, to be quite frank, it's been quite a while 2011, I think, was the last season where they had 7-4 record. We had a 7-4 record here this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2010 was the last season they were in the FCS playoffs. So it's a long time ago. There's a number of years, a number of seasons stacked up in there, and they went through back-to-back 4-7 seasons. I think it was the first back-to-back losing seasons on record in school history. So in our first season to flip it from 4-7 to 7-4, and to be able to win up at Stony Brook and to win up at Maine, and go 5-1 at home. We're 5-1 at home this year with our only home loss to defending national champion JMU 20-10. So there's a lot of really positive things on our resume here this year, and a lot of things that we will build on. And as well as anybody, when you're in this league and you're on the road, it's hard to win. And again, I think having said that, again, is one of the things I've really admired about what Mike's been able to do since his first year there at JMU a year ago. They were able to win close games on the road that first year, and kind of made all the difference in the world. But we're on the right track, and we're certainly highly motivated. We are making extraordinary commitments to all of our student athletes in the area of performance center, building a new facility, upgrading our stadium. It's going to be state of the art, and it's going to have everything you can ever want to have in terms of support for your student athletes. So I know that's really less than a year away from being under construction. So we got a really bright future, and I think our student athletes are highly motivated to take that next step.
Well, I hope they could put an elevator for the press box, because climbing those stairs, I get a workout. That's pretty.
That's a tough gig right there. I know that I've had a number of people offer some commentary on that, but we'll do something about that here real soon, I promise.
Yeah. Well, Coach Rocco, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas, and I hope to talk to you during the spring when spring football starts, and I'll see you hopefully in July when Media Day rolls around.
I'll look forward to it. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
You too. Well, that's Coach Danny Rocco from Delaware. We'll be right back here on HerbFM Radio.
Dark, so cold, lying in an alley, escaping reality. He just can't find how to ease his pain. There's a gun and a bottle, doesn't know which to swallow. Decision of what to do, what to do, what to do. Pull the trigger, it's so much better. Pull the trigger, it's so much easier. Pull the trigger, it's so much faster. But there's got to be more to life than this.
Just talk about the Miami defense. What are you guys? I know you guys getting
prepared for that team? They're a very young defense. Their cornerbacks are very good. They have that turnover chain. And also, what do you guys have to do to take advantage of the young defense by Miami?
Yeah, for us, we got to be ourselves. We haven't watched too much of them yet, with it being Monday, just coming off that big win against South Carolina. Watched a little bit yesterday, been watching them all season in big games. The biggest thing for us is really just taking care of the ball. I know they got that chain, and they're looking for them. But really, when we've gone on the road, I know it's a neutral game, but when we have gone on the road and played well is when we don't turn the ball over. And I think that's something that we have to do. They're super tough teams we've played all year for sure. And so we can't give their offense more chances to score than we need to. So just limiting turnovers, really.
And did you play in the last game there at Charlotte, before they moved it to Atlanta last year? What was the experience like?
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like?
Yeah, I remember it being cold. I remember we played North Carolina. I came out to the onside kick. I actually recovered that one. But I just remember it being a great experience. But Orlando was great too last year. But it was special just going up a Panthers fan. And AC does a great job with it. And so we're excited to go play.
Well, good luck this week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Go. I know you guys are starting to look at film and get ready for Miami. Just talk about that young defense they have, and what do you guys have to do to keep them from not, picking off, turnovers and bring out that chain and all that stuff?
Just each week, the coaches, emphasize, ball security for us. We take care of the ball, we have a good chance to win. At the end of the day, but just looking at the defense as a whole, they're a really talented bunch. Up front, they have quite a few guys that's physical. They do a great job, pass rush and get to the quarterback, and also playing around and stopping as well. Their backers, they run, sideline, whoop, and great, good as well. They really come down here and make plays in outer space. The same thing goes to the back end. Bunch of guys that cover, do a good job, making plays on the ball, when it's in the air, and making plays on space, making sure tackles. So, it's going to be a challenge for us. So, we're just going to have to, just get ready, prepare, we're not going to do anything, that we haven't done anything all year preparation-wise. So, we're going to treat it like that again we treated this season so far.
And I know you're a kid growing up in South Carolina. What's it like going to be playing in that stadium with the Panthers and Cam Newton and all that stuff? You're playing on that field, and you're probably a kid growing up watching the Panthers and all that stuff. What's this feeling like for you?
It's gonna be a special moment. It's ACC championship game. It's choking on the line. It's a lot on the line, but just being in the stadium, where a bunch of great players, play on that field, and whether it's that championship game or the NFL, so it's going to be special.
Well, good luck this week in practice.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome back. Top of the hour here on Sports Radio. And this Kelly Bryan, who they'll be playing this Saturday down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Big ACC matchup against Miami. So we got a change in the schedule tonight, folks. Change in the schedule. Lynn Fulton, the CEO of Chris Label, will be going on at 8:25 instead of 7 o'clock due to he had a meeting or something. So we're going to have my pal Matt Secondary here. All right, let's still here. All right, let's go to live radio, folks. Matt Tricanelli with us. Folks, spread to you that HerbFM Radio is now on iHeartRadio. So if you go on our website at HerbFM Sports Radio at webley.com, you can see our app on iHeartRadio, and you can listen to our podcast anytime, anywhere, anywhere as you go. If you want to go on your bus to go down to Charlotte, that's where I'm going, you can listen to yourself on the radio. So that's iHeartRadio, just new to HerbFM Radio. So anyway, so Matt Tricanelli is joining us. So Matt, let's talk about this big game. Your opinion between Miami and Clemson. What does Miami have to do to beat down the kings of the ACC and the former national champs?
Well, they have to show their defense and what they did against Pittsburgh. So defensively, they're going to have to definitely be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And offensively, they're going to have to be a lot better. They're going to have to come out, I feel, and definitely get some scores in the first quarter and be able to have an offense and be able to have a quick power offense, okay? Because they've been very slow with their offense and they just haven't been really getting into the groove until maybe like the third quarter and everything. So they really need to go ahead and get started quickly, score maybe a couple of touchdowns, okay? Because Clemson has a powerful offense and so they're, and plus they got a great quarterback and everything, so they really need to go ahead. Miami needs to have a really good defense and go ahead and just have the offense. And I mean, I think that they're going to be good to go if they can do those couple of things.
Yeah, that's true. And Clemson, I just read on my app here that Trey Marr, the linebacker for Clemson, has a stinger, and he's going to be out of the championship game on Saturday. So that might be a big blow for the Clemson defense.
That sounds like that will be a pretty big blow for them.
Yeah, and then today, Richards for Miami, the wide receiver, Amari Richards, he went down in practice, so he's probably not going to be available on Saturday. So that means Kager and the other guy has to step up.
Oh, so. Wow, yeah, I mean, that's incredible. So that's definitely a big plus for Clemson right there.
Yeah.
Well, Clemson, Miami, that's a big plus for Miami right there, and that's going to be... I mean, but see, Dabo always seems to pull it out somehow. So
right.
And so it's like Dabo always seems to pull these games out. The only loss he has was when his quarterback was out. So I mean, it'll be very interesting. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. So
yeah. Well, this is actually, the funny thing is, this is the third time that Clemson and Miami are playing on a neutral site.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 1950. Clemson and Miami played in the Orange Bowl, and Clemson won 15-14. And then in 1951, they played at the Gator Bowl against each other, and Miami beat Clemson by a score of 14-0. So if on neutral sites, Miami overall and Clemson are tied one game apiece. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It is very interesting. So,
yeah.
There's interesting statistics if you pull up.
Yeah. Hey, let me call you back, and there's somebody's calling, so let me put you guys. We'll be right back, okay? Hold on.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Chris.
All right, see you. Hello, this is Chris.
Sit here and listen.
All right, so sorry about that. We cut our interview short with Matt Tricanelli. We have Gary Stolten, the president and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, on the phone with us. Gary, thanks for joining us tonight, and it must be some fun times down there in Atlanta getting ready for this Peach Bowl and also the national title game.
Well, it's been a heck of a year. I mean, if you think about being a college football in Atlanta, we ended last year in December 31st with our Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl with number 1 against number 4 in the national semifinal game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we opened the season with number 1 against number 3 in our Chick-fil-A kickoff game. Our ACC championship game will have number 2 versus number 6 with Auburn, Georgia. And we'll have 2 top 12 teams in our Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl on January 1st leading into the Rose Bowl semifinal game.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week later, we'll host number 1 against number 2 in the national championship game. So it's been quite a run over the last year from December to January 8th of college football here in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, talk about the new stadium. I guess you guys enjoyed the opening weekend with Florida State and and Alabama and Tennessee and Georgia Tech. So there's kickoff games.
It was a great weekend. We had 17 million people watch our 2 Chick-fil-A kickoff games. And it's a fantastic stadium. Give all the credit in the world to Arthur Blank for just putting up his money to make a wonderful facility. It was built basically to create a unique fan experience where they can walk right out in the clubs, right out to the field level, and stand right behind the teams, basically. Mm-hmm. The 360-degree halo board is bigger than Jerry Jones' board, but it goes 360 degrees around the stadium. Wow. It's just fantastic. The concessions, they're charging $2 and $3 for hamburgers and hot dogs, and you get free refills of Coca-Cola. Yeah. So it's just a unique, not only a great facility, sight lines and everything else, but for fan experience, it's the best in the country and best in the world. Yeah, and plus you guys have, I think during the week you have Chick-fil-A there, but Chick-fil-A is not there on Sundays, right? Yeah, they turned it into a different restaurant on Sunday because Chick-fil-A will never open on Sunday, but they do well enough during the Falcons games, United games, and events like ours. They have record sales. Nice. We've been fortunate to have record crowds because college football is so predominant in Atlanta. 5 of the top 6 conventions or events in the city of Atlanta, which is the 4th largest convention town in the United States, are college football games this year. Oh, wow. And so the economic impact, the tax revenues that are created, it's very crucial to the underpinnings of the success of Atlanta, let alone certainly the millions of people that can watch the bumpers about the city of Atlanta and get to know the city through the TV exposure we get. So it's certainly a great return on investment for the city and the state. Yeah, well, talk about the process of the Peach Bowl. How do you pick the teams? How did that all come about? How do you do that? Yeah, it was interesting. This is my 20th bowl game. For 17 years, we would have a committee, a team selection committee, and Lehman Bennett, the former Falcon coach, was our chairman, and he and I would meet and we'd present to our committee who we thought we should select from the ACC and the SEC because we had contracts with them since 1992. Mm-hmm. In 2014, when the CFP College Football Playoff started, we were invited to come join the Rose, the Sugar, the Orange, the Fiesta. Us and the Cotton were part to get an invite, and the College Football Playoff Committee selects our teams. So. Having been through the mock selection down in Gaylord, Texas, 2 years ago, it's basically up to the 13-person committee to say, okay, who's going to get in the semifinals, and then who's going to fill, in this case, the Cotton, the Fiesta, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and the Orange Bowl this year. Yeah. So we got to wait for the committee. Okay. Yeah, it's a little different deal now, and we'll get 2 top 12 teams, and probably, I would say this year, if you ask me to hazard a guess, I would say that we'll probably have a group of 5. Okay. Champion, which is highest rank, which will either be Central Florida or Memphis, which play at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Okay. Central Florida is the highest scoring team in the country and undefeated, and they'll probably match up against an SEC team, Georgia or Auburn, or possibly a Big Ten team like Ohio State, Wisconsin, or Penn State would be my best guess. Okay. And then, we all know about the national championship game. The winner of those 1 and 4 versus 2 and 3 face each other after New Year's Day. So that's good. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. They'll play in the Rose and the Sugar this year, and whoever wins will join us in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium on January 8th to declare the winner of this year's college football. Yeah. Well, I was doing some research on you, and you actually are part of the ACC. Is it true that you played basketball at NC State? I did. Okay. I played basketball, picked splinters out of my butt. But I started one game and got my education paid. I was on scholarship, and then I coached with Norm Sloan, who was my coach for 3 years after playing at NC State.
Okay.
Getting my business management degree there, and really miss coaching every day of my life since. But I've taken a lot of the same attributes that you use in coaching and turned it into the business side, and been blessed to be in the business side of sports for 39 years, and so it's been a great run.
Nice. Well, I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope you could watch all the football games. You got the ACC championship game with Miami and Clemson. That's going to be a hell of a battle this weekend.
Yeah, either one of those teams, one of them obviously is going to be in the semifinal, and the team that loses is guaranteed a spot in the Orange Bowl. And then the SEC between Georgia and Auburn, one of those teams is going to be in the Final Four, and the other team will, probably come to us or the Cotton Bowl more than likely.
Yeah. Well, Gary, I appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy, and I appreciate you joining me tonight. And I hope to see you. Are you making a trip to Charlotte this weekend, or just?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not.
Okay.
I hate missing that, but I'm going to be down in Orlando for the American Athletic Conference with UCF and Memphis. I haven't seen them play this year, and the winner of that game's probably going to come to our bowl, so better get down there. But I'll be watching on TV. That'll be a great matchup in Charlotte.
Yeah. Well, I hope to.
Day and everything else.
Oh yeah.
It'll be a fantastic weekend.
It'll be great, and I hope to see you probably at the kickoff next year in Charlotte, hopefully, and we'll catch up then. And I hope to see you maybe at the game on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, probably, hopefully.
That'd be great. Look forward to hosting you in Atlanta, and really appreciate you having us. And always enjoy being with you at the ACC kickoff, too.
All right. Well, that's Gary Stone, the president and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. We'll be right back here on HerbFM Radio.
Triggered so much better. Pull the trigger so much easier. Pull the trigger so much faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
From everything I understand, from all the reports and from all of our sources, this is a very fluid situation, but it's a very real situation. And,
Okay.
All indication right now is that, the bridges that were between FSU and Fisher have been burned.
Okay.
And we're likely to see the Florida State head coach in the Southwest next season.
Wow. So when do you speculate for him to say he's going to Texas A&M after Saturday's game, or he just wanted to keep it quiet?
Oh, that's tough to say. I mean, the news could come very soon. The earliest this could be done is probably tomorrow. I believe that's when the A&M's Board of Regents meets.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we'll hear anything definitive until tomorrow at the earliest. If it does come, it's very possible that Fisher won't coach Saturday against Louisiana Monroe. That decision is expected to be made tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
If it were up to him, I believe he would elect to keep quiet and probably coach Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And assuming the Seminoles can win and become bowl eligible, he would leave prior to any bowl game FSU would play him.
Yeah. Well, you talked earlier a few minutes ago about bridges that burn. What went wrong down there? Because I know this year it's been a tough season. You had injuries. That whole IR list I get every week from Derek down there. It's longer than my mom's grocery list. Yeah, pretty much. What went wrong down there in Tallahassee? Why is he bolting now? Because I know Texas A&M just fired their coach, and I feel like my opinion is because I feel like he has it made in Tallahassee, and I think he could become mayor if he wants to.
It just kind of seemed like it might have been a matter of overplaying his hand, according to other reports. I mean, that's a phrase that's been used quite often. Fisher's been adamant about a football standalone facility. And to be fair, the boosters have kind of obliged with much of what Fisher's asked, but there's been that. There's always been a rift between Fisher and kind of the league boosters, and there's also rumors out there that his relationship with Stan Wilcox, the university's athletic director, wasn't great. His relationship with John Thrasher, the university's president, was.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that, and with the boosters, I think they kind of got tired of this annual story. If you'll remember, last year and the year before, it was LSU who was interested.
Right.
After the 2013 season, before Charlie Strong was hired at Texas, there were rumors maybe Fisher might be heading to Austin. It seems to be kind of an annual thing, and I think that kind of started to wear on the people with the big money as well.
Yeah. Well, he just signed a big contract until 2024, and I wish I had that type of cash. Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of Jimbo Fisher, I know you've been down there covering Florida State. Doing this, this publication and your opportunity, your previous job. Do you have any good memories of Coach Fisher and the time that you spent with him?
The one thing I'll remember about Coach Jimbo Fisher is he had a way of, or has a way of really putting things into perspective with little phrases. Fans haven't liked it a lot this year, but he's mentioned into it a lot before State losing the close games. But I remember I was covering the game 2013. It was the national championship season, and they were hosting NC State, who was the only ACC team to beat them the year prior.
Right.
When Florida State won the ACC title, and I asked Coach Fisher how much the game from the previous year played into that week of preparation in practice, and his answer to me was pain is preparation. But he had, I guess you could call them Jimboisms. He had a way with words. He was folksy in that sense. Not in the way Coach Bowden was, but in a way, in a way that when things were going well,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, I remember a couple times, I just saw him down at Durham this year, and he saw me, and I came up to him at the end. I'm like, just want to say hello, and he looks at me, and goes, I know it's you. I'm like, how you know it's me? And he goes, I know your voice because you have better questions, and you do your best. So he goes, keep giving them to me. I'm like, okay. So ever since then, I've been thinking like, oh, I'm going to try to stump him every day now. Yeah, yeah. But no, I saw him at the ACC kickoff last July, and he comes over, he's walking around, he looks at me, he goes, hey, how's everything? I'm like, good. He looks at me, I come up and I talk to him for a minute, and he goes, oh, you got your stuff ready to go. You got your live radio. He didn't come on my set or anything. I was like, yeah, I got everything. I said, I had to do all the preparation like you do. Make sure everything's perfect. He looks at me and goes, you're the man. Man, I'm like, I know I am. Yeah, so. Well, Mike, hopefully this game, I know this distraction, how is the players reacting to this distraction, because I know they got to play this game to get bowl eligible.
It's tough to say. I mean, they seem to, at least publicly,
Mm-hmm.
be handling it well. I guess Fisher has talked to them, and they've kind of rallied around each other with this sense of the unknown. Much was made about a post Nasibe Upshur, a sophomore tight end, made the other day, saying he doesn't have time to convince people to stick around, and then some people speculated maybe that was reference to Fisher, but then yesterday you had Nathan Saunders, the redshirt junior tight end, announced he was leaving. So maybe a lot of reading between the lines, but. From everything I understand, they do seem to be rallying around each other. And,
it's crazy.
They don't want to be the team
that
ends the bowl streak for Florida State.
Oh, I know that's going to be hard because and I talked to some people who I talk a lot of college football around here. Even my mother said to me one day, she goes, "It's probably good if they miss the bowl game because they'll get them hungry for next year." I was like, well, that's a good valid point, Mom, but you don't want to lose the streak because you don't want to be that group and go, oh, the streak ended. Yeah, that's tough. Well, I hope everything goes well tomorrow down there, and can this thing really just be just with Jimbo Fisher just another ploy for him to get more money? Can that be it?
That goes back to that overplaying the hand. Phrase that's kind of been thrown around. There's some that are speculating that Fisher really never had any intentions to leave. Not really sure if money was his motivation, but perhaps more money for assistance, perhaps that standalone football facility that people are referencing. I don't know if it was necessarily an increase in his paycheck, but there is speculation that there were other wants he was hoping to get. Once these rumors started to surface, it seems like that was unfortunately part of the decline. Yeah,
that's true. Well, Mike, talk about what your publication is, the Daily Knoll. You started this after the national championship game? Because I was reading all that stuff, about your website. Just talk about how you guys started it and where can people read all about Florida State football from your point of view.
We began. Well, I first started. I've been covering sports for a long time, and I got press coverage in 2013 for another publication, and decided to kind of go my own way. First, I had a site called Mold Out that was part of the Blog UN network, and there was an ownership change there, and a gentleman who lived in Tallahassee, Edward Collins, who's our site manager, kind of reached out to me, and since January of 2016, we've been up and operating as the Daily Knoll. So
that's great.
We just doing all we can.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I hope to get you on. I'm probably going to hopefully do maybe a recap show next week from the ACC championship game because I know Florida State played both Clemson and Miami, and that's going to be a great game on Saturday. And hopefully we'll have some better news. You never know. We might find out tomorrow when I'm eating breakfast tomorrow morning. You never know.
You never know. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck. Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
All right. We'll be right back here on HerbFM Sports Radio.